Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how we're going to make our elements of design foldable. So the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to follow along on Schoology as I show you where these materials are located. So we're going to go over into our graphic design group on Schoology. We're going to scroll down and click on Fall Semester. Then we're going to scroll down, we're going to look for the next red folder here, and we're going to click on Elements and Principles of Design. And then we're going to click on Elements of Design Foldable. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to grab the 17 by 11 piece of paper, a 12-inch ruler, scissors, and remember you want to carry the scissors like this, and then you're going to grab a box of colored pencils. Make sure that you grab an entire bin of colored pencils. Okay, so I want you to pause this video while you gather your materials. Okay, welcome back. Alright, now I'm going to show you how we're going to fold this paper so that we have a nice tri-fold here. So the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to hold it up like this, so it's in portrait mode. Then what you're going to do is you're going to simply fold it in half and make a nice crease here. Alright, once you have that, then what you're going to do is you're going to unfold this, and you're going to take this corner here and you're going to line it up with that center crease there. So we're just going to use that center crease as our guideline. And we're going to go down and we're going to neatly fold this along that line there. So I'm going to fold this. So now I have this nice flap here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other side. So I have the other side over here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to meet that right in the middle there. And I'm going to simply use that center line as a guideline. And I'm going to fold that down the middle right there. Okay, pause the video to fold your paper now. Alright, now we're going to use our ruler to measure out 7 equal parts with 2 1/4 inches, starting from the bottom. So on our rulers, what I want you to do is I want you to look for that 2, and you're looking for that first increment. So right here is a half, and then over here, this is a quarter. Alright, so now I have my paper, I have my ruler, I know where the 2 1/4 mark is on my ruler. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure that this lines up right here. So this line should line up right here. And then I'm going to look for that 2 1/4 mark right here on my ruler. And I'm just going to make a little dot. And I'm going to go down my entire length here. So again, I'm lining this dot up with this line right here. So I'm going to line this up. And then I'm going to look for that 2 1/4 mark right here. And I'm going to go down and I'm going to make dots all the way down this piece of paper. So now that I have dots all on this one flap here, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side as well. And I'm going to show you why we're going to do that in just a minute. So I'm going to go over here, and once again I'm going to line this up over here, and I'm going to make marks over here, just showing me where those 2 1/4 marks are. Once I have all of my marks, then what I'm going to do, and this is why I made 2 dots on either side, I'm just simply going to line this up with my ruler here, and I usually just put my pencil point on that dot, and then I use my ruler and I just push it forward so that it lines up. And then I'm just going to draw a line straight across, and I'm going to do the same thing for all of my lines here. And I should have 7 equal spaces on here and room for a title. So you'll have 8 spots total, 8 blocks total, and you'll have 7 even ones for our elements of design and principles of design. All right, so your paper should look like this. So again, I have room up here for a title, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 equal spaces. Okay, at this time I want you to pause this video to measure and draw your lines on your paper. Make sure that you're measuring out 2.25 inches or 2¼ inches, and this should give you 7 equal spaces and a 1-inch header. Alright, for this next step, what you're going to need is you're going to need your scissors and you're going to need your paper as well. And I'm going to show you how we're going to cut these lines out and still have room at the top for our title. Alright, with my scissors, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up this flap here. So you should have a flap that you can open up, and I'm just going to simply take my scissors on this one flap here, and I'm very carefully going to cut along these lines here. So I'm just going to cut this so that I have this so that I can open it. And I'm going to go down and I'm going to make sure that I cut all of these lines here. And again, I'm just cutting the one side, and then I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to cut these tabs out as well on this side. And you want to make this as neat as you can. Alright, and I'm almost done. Just have 2 more to cut. Alright, so now that I have all of these cut out, you'll notice that at the top here I have 2 different sizes. So I have one that's about 1 inch, and then I have this one which is about 2½ inches. This one at the top, this is space for a header here. So you can simply just cut these 2 tabs off. So this is the top up here where we have that 1-inch header. So what this should look like, so you should now have 1 inch at the top that you've cut those 2 tabs off, and then you should have some flaps that you can open up here. Okay, so at this time I'm going to ask that you pause the video to cut out the tabs. Remember to cut out along the lines and to cut out that tab at the top there so that you have a nice space for a header. Alright, so in your folder in the center of your pod, you'll notice that I've placed 4 of these in there. So it either looks like this or this, it's double-sided. So what I want you to do is I want you to get the paper that looks like this. So you're looking for the elements of design, the tools to make art, and you'll notice that there's line, shape, form, color, value, and texture and space. So these give you a definition as well as an example here. And then on the back, there's more definition on here. All right? So I want to make sure that you have this paper in front of you. Remember, all of my classes are going to be using these, so please take care of these and place them back in the folder afterwards. And what we're going to do here is we're going to simply illustrate on our foldable. So we have line, shape, form, value, space, color, and texture. And I want you to think of a fun, creative way to use that element of design in that title. So you can see here, this student, they used lines to create the word line. They used shapes to create the word shape. They made this 3-dimensional, the form, because form is 3-dimensional. They used value to show value. They used space, so here we have positive and negative space that they've used on here. They used a lot of color. And then the last one was texture. So they used a lot of texture in this. So this is what I want you to work on right now, is I want you to work on the headers for these. Alright, so now I'm going to ask you to pause this video to illustrate the title for each of the elements of design. Make sure that you're being creative and you're using colored pencils only. Alright, for this next step, what you're going to do is you're going to write a description on the inside and you're going to give me some examples. So again, we have our title right here, the elements of design. And then when we open up the flaps here, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a 2 to 3 sentence description in here. And then I'm looking for some examples on the side. So this one is line. And you can see here, this student, they chose to do squiggly lines and curvy lines over here. And then they have their definition in the middle. I like this definition, but I like it to be about 2 to 3 sentences. And just to show you another example here, we have shape. So I'm going to close the line up and I'm going to show you shape. And with shape, they have a nice definition in here, but I'd like it to be about 2 to 3 sentences. But they also gave me some examples of shapes on the inside of those flaps there. And the same thing for form. I'm just looking for some examples here on the flaps. Okay, so at this time what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video to write a description for each. So again, that's going to go right here in the middle. And then you're going to draw an example on the flaps. So pause this video and take some time to do that. Alright, once you finish with your foldable, make sure that your name and period are on the back of the foldable. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take a picture of your foldable and we're going to submit this on Schoology. Alright, so on Schoology, you're going to click on the assignment called Elements of Design Foldable. You're going to click on My Document. We're going to give this a second to load. Once this loads, what I want you to do is I want you to click over here where it says Open. And we're going to open this in a new tab. And now what we're going to do is we're going to insert pictures of our foldable. Okay, so we're going to go up here to Insert, Image, and we're actually going to click on Camera this time. Alright, and this message is going to pop up and it's going to say, will you allow docs.google to use your camera? And we're going to click Allow. And once we click Allow, it's going to open up the camera right here. And what you're simply going to do is you're going to take 2 pictures. You're going to take a picture of the outside of this, and then you're also going to open this up so that I can see the inside of this. I'm mostly going to be grading the paper copies, but just in case if yours gets lost, damaged, or anything, at least I'll have this to grade off of. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is try to position yourself so that I can see the entire foldable. You might need a friend for this to click that button for you, but this looks good so that I can see the whole thing on here, and I'm just going to click this button right here. And what this does is it takes a picture of that for me, and I'm going to click Insert. Alright, so this is an example of the front of it, so I'm just going to reposition this over here so that this is facing in here. And then I'm going to take a picture of the inside of this. So I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to open that up so that I can see the inside of that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to come over here, you're going to grade yourself, you're going to have a peer grade you, make sure the peer puts their name in here, and then you're going to switch back over into Schoology and you're going to click Submit Assignment. And once you see that rocket ship, you know that you've submitted it and you're all good. Make sure that this makes its way into the purple folder. So make sure that your foldable makes its way into the purple folder and you're all good. Alright.